introduce Utha, and she's a secondary associate assistant principal based in London, and she focuses very much on raising standards in her school. She's an MFL teacher by trade, and she volunteers as a co-head teacher for a weekend language school. So languages are absolutely her passion and her drive. She's also one of our wonderful volunteers for the Step Up Network, and I've had the pleasure of having the strategy days with her and spending some quality time with her as well. And she leads for our organisation for the Step Up on collaborations, diversity and inclusion, and I can't wait to hear her speak this evening. So again, thank you so much for taking the time for coming this evening. Thank you. I'll pass on to you now.
Thank you, Nikki, for that introduction. So hello, everybody. I'm Utha, and like Nikki said, I'm an associate assistant principal Monday to Friday, and on Saturday, I work in a supplementary school as a co-ed teacher. So this evening, I would like to talk about how we can shape our students to become the leaders that they can be in their community when they leave school. So for me, it's a given really that when students come to school and what their family expect and what they expect and what teachers expect is for them to achieve good grades, of course. And again, there's no doubt about that. This is what we do daily for our students. However, this evening, I would like to talk about what else we should do when we've got the students, and it's how we can prepare them to become leaders when they leave school. So what kind of skills do we want them to practice? What kind of tools do we want to give them so that when they leave, they can have an impact on their community, a lasting impact on their community? So I'm going to share with you what one of the projects I did with during my Saturday experience. So as we know, during the festive season, we have a section of the population, so it's elderly people who feel very lonely at that time. So I was just thinking, what can we do as a community to kind of tackle that issue? And how can we involve the students? So what we met as a group of leaders, and we decided that we could get the students to write Christmas cards to the elderly living in care home. So it was just, fantastic to see leaders from around 47 schools and 2,000 students just writing cards to kind of address the issue of loneliness, and it's really about giving the tools to the students and telling them, you can do something about that problem. You are a leader as well. You can change things. And being an adult working in a school, we want to be in a position where we are going to make the world a better place. And we are working, within our remit in our schools. But if we really create leaders, the new generation, the next generation of leaders, whatever we are creating with them, when we are gone, it's going to carry on. So what I really want to emphasize is how important it is to kind of course, address the academic side. And I'm all for that. As you heard from Nikki, I'm raising standards and achievement, but we must not neglect how we can help our students to be leaders in turn when they leave school. So I just want to share a story with you. And it's one of my former students, because I actually live where I work by choice. It's not even something that it happened. I really want to work in the communities that I serve, to live in the communities that I serve. And I met one of my students, a former student, and he was actually leading a youth group. And I said, okay, what are you doing here? It's really, I just want to hear, tell me about it. And he was telling me, and it was so, I cannot really put a word on it, but it was really, I would say, heartwarming to hear him say that he was helping his community because he remembered all the opportunities that we gave him when he was in school with us. And he was telling me about you know, all the activities, fundraising activities that we did to help people who had less than he had. And he was telling me how we had impacted his life. And he was just thinking, I need to be able to impact over young people's life as well. So it's just, for me, very important that we don't focus, let's focus on academic, of course, but let's create opportunities to give the students the tools and the skills to be able to be the change that we want to see in the world. And for me, it cannot really, it's part of our mission as educators to do that as well. So once more, let's focus on academic, of course, but let's not forget that we have that mission, that role, that responsibility to lay the groundwork really for the students that we are teaching now to be leaders in the future. Another story quickly, I've got a few students who actually put themselves forward to be part of the youth parliament. And I'm just so impressed with them because we know this is where change is going to happen. And I was so impressed with them for putting themselves forward, campaigning to collect voices. And it was just, you know, very, for them, it was really empowering, I think, that young people their age see that. And I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do in their community now and in the future. So if you want to chat about what you can do in your school, please drop me a message. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm also on X, formerly Twitter.
Start. Always a good start when you mute yourself. That was brilliant, like typical thing to do in a Zoom or a Teams meeting. But thank you, Utha, for sharing your experience on how to shape students into leaders. And I think that's really, really clear that you know that is not an easy task. That's quite tough to do. And it's clear that obviously you've shown us, like through your experience, how to build in those critical skills to deliver them to your student population. However, I would also, there's another side to it as well. You've developed their empathy, their understanding, and building their character through their social and emotional development, which is also critical. That plays an important part in how you want to develop students into leaders. So thank you for sharing your journey and your experience through that. That's really nice to hear.